Hello everybody, welcome to Totally Tabled. My name is Shaggy, and today I'm doing something that I've really never done before. If you're at all familiar with the channel, you know that one of my favorite games of all time is Robinson Crusoe. It's my favorite solo game, it's my favorite cooperative game, and it's been that way for over a decade. I've even made 2 full solo playthroughs for the channel, and I plan to do many more. Well, when you consider all of that, it's no surprise that I am thrilled to finally have the Robinson Crusoe Collector's Edition here in my house on my table. It's been, I don't know, many years in the waiting. This thing was crazily delayed. But so I wanted to do something for the channel, like an unboxing, but I thought I'd do something a little bit different. I'm going to go through some of the new stuff that came in the collector's edition, and then we're going to be looking at really the biggest thing that this adds, and it is an absolute game changer. This book of adventures. I am so excited for this thing, just absolutely over the moon. It's unbelievable, and I want to go through it page by page. But look, we'll save that till the end of the video. First up, let's check out this. An incredible neoprene mat. Now, I'm actually someone who doesn't really want a bunch of neoprene mats if they don't fit back into the box. I'm very much a one box, one game kind of person. I'm happy to make an exception for this one because it's really awesome. I love it. It retains that gorgeous look from, the original board. And it adds to it over here with some areas for, the cards and tiles and stuff. And this area here for our adventure book, which again, we'll get to in a second. Now, I will say the mat is big. Here's a little reference. That is the board from the 2nd edition. And that's something I probably should note here is that I've kind of taken my 1st edition, my 2nd edition, I've taken some of the upgrades that I've had in the past, and I've created a kind of Frankenstein's monster here. Some of the stuff that the collector's edition came with, I'm not going to actually use, and I'll try to point that out. But one cool upgrade I'm definitely using are these triple layered player boards. They have little indentations here for the health on both sides. So if you're going to be the dude or the gal, these are really great, thick cardboard. So love to see that. And it's just nice that there's a place for everything. Put your map tiles right there. Got a spot for your beast deck. I won't put everything out, you get the idea. The next thing I want to talk about is something that was pretty high profile, but honestly was never that big of a deal for me. It's still fun to have and everything, but it's all of these minis. So here we have some pieces that represent your Palisade level. So as you increase your Palisade level, you can sort of build these. I guess right there, that's where it's supposed to go. So that would be like a level 1 Palisade. And there we go. It's a little fiddly, but it sort of fits in there together. And now you have a level 2. There we go. And now you have a level 3. And finally, boom, level 4. I mean, that's pretty fun. Looks cool, it's thematic, completely useless. Am I going to be using that? I don't know. If I'm in the right mood, maybe I will, but probably not. And then we have a similar thing for the roof level. You start with this. This is like when you build your first shelter, you can put this in. Now you guys are really going to have a hard time seeing this. And then when you get your roof on, you can use this little piece. Oh, there we go. So that'd be like a roof level of 1. And then you can start adding this little guy for a roof level of 2. And then this little tiny piece for a roof level of 3. Okay, super fiddly. Something like that. And there you go. Now you have a maximum fortress. And then the hurricane comes and knocks down one of your palisades. I don't know. It's fun. We'll just leave that like that. Pretend we're super protected. And then, of course, there's a ton of character minis. Now, mine have a little like wash on them or something, which is good for me because I'm not a painter, but they're cool. Cool little minis. That's the carpenter. Now, the thing is, you have 2 minis for each character and for both the male and the female side. So whoever you're using, you have your 2 minis, and these you would use to go out and take actions, right? They replace the pawns. Now, you're never going to see me using these in any playthrough that I do on the channel, just because the pawns are just so easy to use, they're so legible, and you can stack them on top of each other to show which of the pawns is the leader. Oftentimes you'll have 2 pawns, from 2 different characters, and the one on top is the leader. Well, if I'm doing something like this, and we're going to explore over here, who's the leader? I can't stack them. Well, they have a solution for this, and it's not a very good one. I would have to put this ring on the leader. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, I'm not doing that. That's not gonna happen. Now, is it that big of a deal? Can you just, like, not do this and just be like, she's the leader because she's in front or whatever? Yeah, absolutely. But still, I don't think it's as nice as the wooden pawns. I almost would have rather seen, like, some really nice, I don't know, like, fancy player pawns. That would have been a cool upgrade. Now, I might still use these as, like, a way of blocking the special abilities, right? So it's like, okay, I'm going to use that special ability. Boom. And then I'll use that one. Boom. Now, you don't usually use 3 or even 4 of the special abilities in one round, but if you were to, you could go, okay, those are done, right? Those are done. I don't know. I'm sure other people are going to really love these, but for me, they're not super useful. Now, keep in mind, I'm not really a minis guy, so take everything I'm saying here with a grain of salt. Now, one thing that is maybe slightly more useful are these animal minis. There's a horse, here's like a little bird, a little cat, and then the dog that we know and love. This came with an animal companion mini expansion that utilizes these. You can have a animal companion that gives you a little special ability. And there's also some new adventure cards that you can add into just your deck of regular adventure cards. You just shuffle them in. I think there's 10 for each deck, and those add chances for you to acquire some of these animal companions, or you can choose to start the game with as many animal companions as you want, and then the cards will play off of that. Like, oh, if you have the dog, then this will happen. So those are super fun and very useful. And in fact, I might use the little doggy here as a first player marker, even if I don't have the dog companion. Okay, enough with the minis. Moving on. Oh, let's get this thing out of the way. This chintzy little cardboard dice tower, shaped sort of like a volcano, I guess. Yeah, some of you might be aware of how I feel about dice towers. Beyond useless, and this one is just straight garbage. Now, there's a few little bits and pieces that I don't really want to get into completely. Little, like extra event cards and little promo things. One thing I really do want to talk about is what they're calling companion app packs. These are like mini expansions that replace the event cards and all of the adventure cards. So like, for example, here is the pirate deck. So if you were playing with this, you would just use these cards. This would be your beginning card. These would be like your event cards that you would be putting together to form the event deck. And then here would be your adventure cards, right? Here's the exploration ones, the gather and the build. Now you have a completely new set of cards, and it comes with some new rules and stuff all outlined here. You have almost like a little separate mini game when it comes to this pirate deck. And as far as I know, you can just add this to any of the scenarios. I have not looked through any of these cards, so I have no idea like exactly what's going on here. Here's another one with zombies as a theme. And here's the third one that has something to do with the totems that you find on some of the map tiles. And I guess now is actually a good time to mention that there is an app that you can get on your phone It's a free app for the base game, and you can actually pay for these different decks of cards. But if you got the collector's edition, then you can get sort of the digital version of all of these for free on the app. But yeah, you could just play with the core set as well, and it will also kind of walk you through the different phases. And so, I personally prefer to have the cards and, wouldn't really want to use this, but, that could be kind of cool. The last thing I want to show off are these fancy components that came in the collector's edition. These are all very nice. They have these little, I don't know what they are. They got little hearts here. They don't fit very well in these boards, which sort of renders the whole triple layering thing kind of pointless. This is the bread, too. I think the bread looks a little weird, frankly. These look nice, though, these hides. But I'm not going to be using those. I prefer the deluxe components that I've been using now for years. This was a third-party upgrade. And before you ask, I have no recollection of where these came from. Again, it was like over a decade ago. I just kind of like these pieces better. I don't know. I like the meat as food. I like these little crates for the non-perishable food. I love this little campfire token here. So yeah, I'm going to continue to use my bits, but these are very nice as well. Maybe just a little bit more cartoonish than I would like. Robinson Crusoe has a very specific tone. It can get pretty silly, but it can also get pretty real as well. It walks a fine line, and I don't know. I think these components just fit the tone a little bit better. Oh, quickly, I don't want to forget to mention this, because this will be important to a lot of people, I think. There is now an introductory campaign that will guide you through the rules, introducing new rules over the course of, I think, 4 games. It's got this little book here that I think that you sort of use as the map. I really haven't gone through this yet to see exactly how this works, but looks interesting. And, if it makes it easier to learn the game, then I'm all for it. I don't know. I'll give it a look, see what I think about it. But this booklet sort of walks you through, as you can see. So, yeah, this could be great. Who knows? But now the real star of the show, the Book of Adventures. This is what I've been waiting to get to. Now, for anyone who's not familiar with Robinson Crusoe, in which case I'm surprised you're watching this, but the game is scenario-based. So you're going to pick a scenario. I think there were 6 in the base box, at least in the first edition. And all the scenarios are going to basically follow the same rules, but there's going to be some new things, some new concepts, different ways of winning. Rules are going to be tweaked. And all of that was outlined on the scenario sheet. This is scenario 3, Jenny Needs Help. This is the first video that I did on the channel. Jenny Needs Help is also one of my favorite of the scenarios. It's the one I recommend as your first play, even though the manual always recommended castaways, but I never liked the scenario. Don't like it, don't play with it usually. I really think Jenny Needs Help gives you a much better feeling for what Robinson Crusoe really is, right? It really gives you the entire game. Thematically, it feels, very classic. You're shipwrecked on a deserted island. Jenny didn't quite make it to shore. She's clinging on to life on some rocks. You have to get a raft to go save her, bring her back to the island. And then you need to craft a lifeboat to get off the island because a hurricane is approaching. This is a great scenario for teaching you that when it comes to Robinson Crusoe, 1, you don't have time to mess around. And number 2, you should play thematically. Taking the theme seriously is always a big part of Robinson Crusoe. Okay, anyway, so this outlines everything. It shows you, what the different totems mean for this scenario, what the book symbol means, gives you some special rules and things like that. Here's Jenny. She has a life track. You got to save her before she dies. Well, this Book of Adventures basically has all of those in there in a nice, handy book. And here we go. Here is Jenny Needs Help. So you might be asking yourself, what's so exciting about that? Well, for one thing, this book is massive. There are so many scenarios in here. Over the years, a bunch of promos were released with different scenarios. There were also, I guess, a bunch of fan-made scenarios. And I guess all of that has been collated and put into this book, plus much, much, much more. And some of these base game scenarios now have multiple difficulty levels. And so, for instance, this one is Jenny Needs Help Determined. And if you look at the top there, it says, There is Hope. This is actually a slightly modified version of Jenny Needs Help that's made a little bit easier than this one that we've played on the channel. Now, I went through and I looked to see what the differences were, and there's just a bunch of little things. Like, for instance, Jenny has a much larger health bar. I say much larger. She has 2 more hearts, but that's a full day. So she's going to get to survive for a full extra day. That's a pretty significant change. There's also some changes in the unusual findings and exactly what you can get. The totems have also been tweaked to be a little friendlier. Everything is just a little bit friendlier in this version. This is going to be such a big deal for people who have found this game to be just too hard and too punishing and not fun enough. This is going to really loosen that up and hopefully make it feel more fun and less tense. And so when some of those bad things start happening, it won't feel quite as punishing. This is brilliant. This is beautiful. Now here, let's turn back to the glossary here because, not the glossary, the table of contents. There's some brilliant stuff happening here. So you can see on this side, they have everything organized by difficulty. So we have There Is Hope, that's the easy. We have Small Chance, which is regular. Then there's the difficulty of No Chance, which I'm very curious if that actually means no chance. Like, it's literally impossible to win. If we're taking it on face value, that's definitely what it sounds like. Like, you're just not going to win. Maybe there is like a sliver of a chance. I'm very curious to find that out. But what I love is that, look, this is Robinson Crusoe. So you think impossible is going to be the hardest difficulty level? No. We're going to go from impossible to straight to hell. I love this so much. I can't wait to try some of these straight to hell and just see how long you can survive, I assume. Do they even have win conditions? I don't know. We're going to find out here together. But before we start looking at all the straight to hell missions, we also have this section of the table of contents, which has everything divided up based on audience. So you have the scenarios that are good for, families and kids. And that's great. You can see Jenny Needs Help is on that list. They describe those scenarios as having a simple rule set and safe themes. You then have Everyone Have Fun. And those are the scenarios that introduce a more moderate complexity, basically based on how much that scenario changes the rules and adds new rules and special conditions. And then you have the experts at the table, the scenarios that are just meant for the most hardcore Robinson Crusoe fans. And just reading the names of some of these has me so excited. Look at this. Shapeshift Island. Monkeys Gone Bananas. Ooh, Experiment on Dinosaur Island. We definitely have to check that one out. And the table of contents keep going. We now have everything listed in terms of the length of a game. This is great. It can show you, these are going to take less rounds to complete and that you could die relatively quickly. So those might be perfect if you want sort of a quicker game. And then over here, they have them divided up based on genre. And that's one of the things about these scenarios. They have a wide variety of themes and gameplay. Each scenario feels so unique and so different. It's almost like you're playing a completely different game. You get a very different experience. And because the game is so thematic, the different genres really matter. Playing Jenny Needs Help is very different than playing, say, the King Kong scenario. So this will help you pick out exactly what kind of theme you're looking for. That's fantastic. And then boom, there we go. We start right into all the different scenarios. Now, one of the things I definitely want to do is go through all these scenarios and pick which one I want to be my next playthrough. And I was thinking I definitely want to do one that I've never played before. Something brand new, at least for me. Like I said, I've never played any of the fan-made scenarios or things like that, so there's a ton of new stuff in here. Maybe I'll pick out like my favorite 3, and I'll have you folks in the comments pick which one you want to see. Yeah, that sounds fun. We'll just do a straight vote. I don't know. If you're hearing this, then that's what we're going to do. And if you're not hearing this, then I decided against it. Okay. Okay, I want to go over a couple of these scenarios that look interesting to me. The first one here is Piranha Cook-Off. This is in that small chance category, that sort of medium category. And this looks great. It looks like sort of a cross between Survivor and Iron Chef. Right, we're going to need to cook 4 dishes for the judges in order to win. And in order to cook the different recipes, we have to go out and get the ingredients in order to do so. And then take this cook dish action. And look at this. The book is going to dull our knife. We have ruthless rivals that will be showing up, sabotaging us. This is a super fun theme, and it looks completely different from anything else that I've ever played in Robinson Crusoe. So that one's a definite maybe. Another one that sounds pretty interesting is this Get the Tomb Raiders. In this one, I guess we're protecting priceless artifacts from these Tomb Raiders. And we're going to be using the Beast deck in order to stand in for these Tomb Raiders, and we're going to have to fight 9 damage worth of enemies. So this appears to be a real fighty one. Those aren't necessarily always my favorite, but the theme looks kind of cool, and I don't know, there's some interesting things going on there. The next one that caught my eye is, there we go, Wave of the Living Corpses. So this is just straight up zombies. Looks like you're rolling dice, the zombies are appearing. We're kind of doing tower defense. It almost reminds me of Carnival Zombie. As you're building up your palisades, you're actually putting wood around this tile, and you can't move your camp from that tile. So you're fortified in this area. Looks like a pretty cool horror scenario, maybe a good one for Halloween. But here's the one that I think I've got to go for. Boom, Reality Island. This one is just straight up Survivor the TV show. You are on a reality show, and so you not only have to worry about surviving, but you have to accomplish these objectives each day of the 8 days. It looks like there's maybe 2 objectives each day, and you just have to complete at least one of them. Then on top of that, the morale track is actually like how much the audience likes you. Their affection for you. And the more they like you, the better the show's going to do. So you're worrying about that. You're worrying about the ratings. And there's scripted events that are happening. This is so brilliant. So as you explore and you find these totems, then they're going to be numbered and these scripted events are going to be able to happen. I honestly think this is the one that I want to do. I might scrap the whole voting thing because I just love the twist here where we're still doing the survival theme, but with this new reality show twist on it. That's so brilliant and just perfect for Robinson Crusoe. I also like that this is a no chance scenario, so I'll get to see just how impossible it really is. This is definitely my number 1 choice at the moment, although Piranha Cook-Off sounded pretty fun as well. Oh wow, look at this one, Gambler's Gold. So in this one, we've racked up a bunch of gambling debt, and so we need to gather resources and then trade them in order to collect 50 gold so that we can pay that debt off. Oh man, this looks fun. You have competition from rival traders. We have like a market thing going on here. Oh man, that looks fascinating. Oh, here we go. I read this one in the table of contents. Experiment on Dinosaur Island. Looks like this is an expert level one. It's changing a lot of things, but this has got to be Jurassic Park, right? Oh yeah, wow, look at this. We got velociraptors here. We can build an electric fence, fix the ATV, research. What is our goal? We have 3 levels of victory. Okay, we're trying to gain some DNA samples. Okay, this looks fun too. Again, just the perfect theme for Robinson Crusoe, right? Dinosaur Island. It just makes so much sense. Ooh, the beast in us. Oh my goodness. This looks cool too. So many of these look so much fun. I mean, I could just be going on here forever. Here's good old Cannibal Island in the no chance variety. Time travel. Man, what could that be about? Ooh, and here's our friend Volcano Island, the one I did my second playthrough on, but this is the straight to hell variety, Freezing Treasures. Wow. I shudder to think what they've changed here to make this even more difficult. Oh my goodness. Ah, and it's Family Robinson. This is what I was originally planning to do for my third playthrough of Robinson Crusoe. Obviously not using the straight to hell variety. I was going to do... Where is it? There it is. I was going to do this version right here. This is an incredibly long scenario where you're just trying to survive on the island and build up sort of a sustainable life there, which is a really cool theme. Oh, we got good old King Kong, straight to hell variety. Love it. Poachers is a sort of a promo scenario that came out a while ago. Sinking Lands. Ooh. Okay. I think you get the point. This is just incredible. There is so much to explore here. It's blowing my mind. So here's the plan. I've settled on a plan. My next playthrough is going to be Reality Island. We're going to test out that no chance difficulty level, see just how brutal it is. What I want to know is, of the ones that I've shown you here, what do you want my next one to be? Maybe Piranha Cook-Off. Maybe the zombie one. Maybe going back to something more standard like Family Robinson. Or maybe there's a difficulty level you really want to see. Do you really want to see me try a straight to hell scenario? Please put all that in the comments. I'm planning on playing a lot of Robinson Crusoe this year, and so you're going to see a bunch of this on the channel. This game is just too good. It's just too good. I can't help myself. Well, if you've watched for this long, you deserve a prize, but all I can give you is my thanks for watching, and the next time you see me, we'll be on Reality Island. Thanks so much, and goodbye.